Hello everyone, Erin here. I just got my big giant box of craft supplies and I thought it'd be fun to unbox it with you and kind of share some of my thoughts and plans for a lot of this crafty goodness. So let's go ahead and dive right in. This actually arrived while I was gone and I got the notice and I just could not wait to get home and dig into my box of goodies. Now I realize this looks like a whole bunch of stuff, but there's some albums in here and then a lot of cardstock. So what I'm going to do is move this off to the side and then I'll kind of group things by likeness and we'll go through them and take a closer look. I'm going to start with Weekend Adventures because it is my favorite and definitely what I'm most excited about. So I got the scrapbook kit and then I got an extra paper pack and coordinating sticker sheet. So I have no shortage of photos that I can use papers like this for. So I am super excited. It's going to be hard to decide which pictures I want to document first. But this is the sticker sheet that comes along with the paper pack, if that's the option you choose. I'm pretty sure you can get just the paper pack too. But such great titles on here. Life is Better Outdoors, Take to the Trails and Travel on Foot, Wander, Repeat, Explore, and then just some great accent words, subtitles, some cute little banners. How cute is that coffee pot? I love it. So this is awesome. Super excited about this. And there's a coordinating stamp set too called Weekend Adventures with a fabulous title, Adventure Starts Here. So that's great for really any type of travel. It does not have to be, outdoor specific because, anytime you could be shopping at the mall and if you're with a group of crazy girlfriends, it might be quite the adventure. So you could document Adventure Starts Here. Does anyone even shop at malls anymore? Did I totally just date myself? But anyway, this is a good size title. That is actually, let me turn my ruler around here. That is 4.5 inches in length. So that really makes a nice statement underneath a photo or on top of a photo. And I absolutely love it. So you've got some little accent stamps. We all love our little scatter splatter stamps. And then some fun wordy bits and then subtitles, things to do, or these could be titles, in themselves. They don't have to be subtitles. So taking the scenic route and things to do and places to see. Again, that doesn't have to be, outdoor adventure specific. Coffee cup, we can never have too many of those. So super excited about this. And let's go ahead and take a look at, okay, I'm like, what? This is just the backing that goes along with that collection. It felt really thick. I didn't know what was in there. Thought maybe there was a second sheet for a moment. So I love the buffalo plaid. I just think that is so fun and perfect for masculine layouts, outdoorsy layouts. Let's set that scrapbooking kit aside and we'll look at all of the papers. So you do get 2 of each and they are double-sided. So what I'll do is, oh, wait, look, there's 3 and 4. Okay, so 4 of each. So that's really nice because if you wanted to do like a double page using the pinstripe, you would have that option, or a double page using the plaid, and then you still have 2 more sheets. So that is super cool. So let's go ahead and put all of these out. So pinstripe and plaid. And then this one I absolutely love because it's got little pine trees on there. So you've got greens and browns and they're super cute. The opposite side are acorns, little teeny tiny acorns, which are very fun. Definitely great for outdoors. And it looks like, again, we have 4 of those pattern papers. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking. She, I don't know what she's on high alert for. This one's my favorite. This is my favorite paper pattern in the collection. I just think it's perfect for, capturing that outdoor adventure vibe. We've got some footprints and then animal track footprints, a compass, coffee cup, and there's a little almost like a wood grain texture on the back of that, if you can see that detail. And the opposite side is blue splatter, but that is also great for like a nighttime sky. Doesn't it mimic like a starry night sky? Just awesome. So excited. I love getting excited about a paper pack like this because my creativity wheels are turning and just, yeah, I cannot wait to dive in, and why I bought, an extra one of these paper packs with the sticker sheet. So let's look at the scrapbooking kit and see if there's any differences. Well, we know there's going to be differences, so I guess I should say we'll see what the differences are. So you do have some photo place card holders that you can use to mat your photos, or if you want to create the layouts before you have your photos, you can do that, put the photo place card holders on there. And then of course you get the full color guide that tells you exactly how to cut all your pieces and how to arrange them on the layouts. And I do think these are quite cute. I always like to mix them up and kind of do my own thing, but these are great for following along exactly or just using as a jumping off point. So again, you have your cutting guide there and you just follow along, and then they even tell you, like, put this one in 3.5 inches from the left and like 1.5 inch down. So they really take the guesswork out of it for you, which is nice when you maybe are new to scrapbooking, or maybe you just are busy crafting with friends at a retreat and you don't want to think because you're having a good time talking. So I've definitely done that, and it's nice to just follow along with a sketch design. Okay, so it looks like there's now this is the scrapbook workshop. So we have just two of those double-sided papers. Same thing with our tree and acorn. Got those upside down. So 2 of those. And then we have 2 of the Starry Night, or a splatter, if you will, and then our little compass and footprint paper. So just 2 of each of those. And then these are the bonus papers specifically created for the workshop. And they are single-sided because the way they're designed, you would just be using one side. So we've got a great classic wood grain, definitely adds that outdoor vibe. And then another wood grain in a lighter wash. Again, single-sided, but you get 2 of those. Great for double pages. And then you get all of these punch outs. So you've got titles and layering bits of ephemera. You've got journaling spots, and all of these are designed to use on those workshops, or you could just, use them as you feel inspired to do so. They're labeled on the back. You have what project they go to. So these are all like project 1 would be this layout here. So you would just punch out all the pieces that say project 1 if you wanted to follow along and create the layout. So there is that punch out sheet. Another one here, great big tag, and then just some layering bits, nice pops of color. We've got some words and arrows and chevrons. And look at the log round. That's super cute. And then you get cardstock. So you have all of the cardstock you need to create those layouts. And these are the two-toned cardstock. So there's several sheets in here. And again, this is the cardstock that you would need to create those layouts as shown. So a couple of this color, and then just one of the blue, and I believe that's Old Olive. So let's see what the colors are in here. They are basic beige, basic black, Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, and Vanilla. And then again, there's that fabulous sticker sheet. So the sticker sheet does come in the workshop along with all of those punch outs and the bonus pattern papers. So other than that, your pattern papers, you have the same. Sometimes in some of the collections, you'll notice some differences. They might scale it back a little bit, but these you just get 2 of each plus the bonus bits and pieces. So that is awesome. And again, I absolutely cannot wait to dive into this collection. I started collecting all of the cardstock colors in the two-tone, the 12 by 12 two-tones. So these are available in packs of 12, and they're double-sided. So these are some colors I use frequently. And then I got the new ink colors. So we've got Cloud Cover, Strawberry Slush, Secret Sea, Timid Tiger, and Darling Duckling there. So I definitely wanted those because I only had the 8.5 by 11 in those in color shades. Well, hello, David. but you can see here they've got all of the cardstock colors available, and they do have the solid core also that's in the back in the color family, so you can find that more towards the back. And then I wanted to point out that, you know, if it's not in the budget to get all of the cardstock colors, if you're just getting a paper pack, you can get the coordinating two-tone cardstock. So they have the coordinating colors and they go along with the collections. So there's 2 each of these 6 colors for a total of 12 sheets, and you'll see that like in the Celebrate Together, you'll have the same thing here. So that's another way to start your cardstock collection and get those other colors if you don't want to buy like a whole pack of 12. But I seem to burn through the cardstock pretty quickly, so I am glad to have these in my craft room. Apparently Dave's just going to hang out with us here. So, hi buddy, why don't you just come in and say hello so they can see your cute little face. This is the Boho Vibes collection, and there's a whole suite, which I did get the suite, and you can see some fun little artwork samples there, and the paper is 6x6. So I love the colors in here. They're kind of deeper, more muted tones, and I have been using my 6x6 papers for cards and also on my 12x12 scrapbooking, and it's been working out quite nicely. So I think these little 6x6 paper pads are fun, and you do get several sheets. So in all of the 6x6 you get, gosh, like at least what, 4 sheets? Yeah, 4 sheets of each pattern, and then you have like just a little more simple pattern on the opposite side. So some really fun, just retro patterns and mixes of color here. I love that one, kind of a little sunburst there, but lots of just different patterns to use and mix and match. That one's fun. Little arches on the background there. This is a neat little wave type of pattern there. And sometimes those are, you can, you know, not line those up. It was a thought. It was a thought. So yeah, aren't those fun colors? I like them. Let's take a look at the Sunshine Vibe dies. So here's the stamp set. The stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, and you've got some nice sentiments. Hello, thanks, sending good vibes, and darling. This makes a sun. So you have half a sun, but you can turn it around and keep it going all the way around. The dies are these adorable little wonky rainbows. So you get the rainbows that all cut out, and then you can put these detailed strips in between. And then there's some starbursts, some hearts, and then some little sprigs here. So let me bring this back in so you can kind of see how they've used those little rainbow dies. And then there's the sun cut out, and you can see they've used just the sprigs with like one rainbow. And that's a super cute card. So they just did there's half a sun, and then here they made the whole circle, and then there they probably masked it off, and then just a little leaf sprig. So really simple stamping, but very cute. So that is the die set and the stamp, and then there's coordinating dots that match with the colors called muted palette dots. So nice big set, and then you have 2 different sizes, small and the kind of more of a medium size in each of those. This one, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this one yet. I just really liked it. I love the colors, and I don't have photos in mind yet, but stay tuned because I know I will find the perfect pictures, right? Now this is Kintugi Inspirations, and Kintugi is the art of repairing Japanese pottery with gold lacquer. So you have all of these beautiful card examples in here, and there's the whole suite, or you can get the items bundled. And then there's some more fun suggestions on the back. Now I thought I got the whole suite. I'm not seeing oh, here it is. I'm like, where's the embossing folder? So they've actually done some embossing and gold foiling here, and then cut out the veining and placed it on top of the embossed background, and it's quite stunning. Very, very beautiful card. So I am going to be doing some scrapbook layouts with this. And I think this paper is just beautiful, and I was really drawn to the colors. But I think there's so many different things from, Japanese gardens. This would have been great for my Japanese garden photos. And I do have more Japanese garden visits to document, so I might do some of those. But, just look at the paper individually. Would that not be a gorgeous beach inspired layout with that paper? And then even like mixing it, I think these peach and blues are very, very beachy colors. So that could be like a net, and then you've got the waves, mix in a little bit of the woven texture paper, and it would lend itself quite well. So 2 sheets of each. Now I've got them all out of order here. What's the other side of that? So I've already flipped them all over. And then the coordinating dies do cut out the little pottery bits here. So again, just gorgeous gold foiling detail with the foliage on there. And then again, I love the blues and all of the peach and greens. This is the little dots, and I love them because they're very flat, very low profile. So they don't add too much bulk to your layouts, and they also go through the mail nicely. They're called flower accents, and they're in the same gold color. And then the Inspiring Imperfections stamp set is a clear stamp. So you have a couple of the vases there, the pottery, and then you could put that cracked detail on there. So you could do that with like gold embossing powder, and then some really nice sentiments on there. So let's take a look. There's the embossing folder. You can see all the gorgeous textures on there. And then these, I know there's dies in here that cut out the pottery. Gosh, all of my dogs are upset. I should probably go see what's going on. So these cut out the little pottery. If you didn't, want to stamp them, you could just cut the shapes out from the paper. So they're already, gold embossing on there and everything. How easy is that? And then of course you have this smaller one that's more like a little bowl style that you could cut out these shapes here. And it looks like this flower, peel these off yet. I haven't set them up. I like to transfer them over to a magnet sheet, but let's see if this cuts this out. It looks like it does. Yep, it does. So you can cut out these little blossoms with this die, and then you have just this gorgeous detailing, and again the veining, and there's a nice little sentiment spot on the die. So those are very pretty and coordinate with the stamp and the paper. So really nice little set. I'm excited to create with this one, and I just think it's pretty. Love the detailing here. So I'll probably make some cards and some scrapbook layouts. It'll be hard not to unsee the beach paper on that one, right? And here we have the Memories in Bloom scrapbooking workshop. So just like the other workshop, you get these photo place card holders to use, and you got the full color guide. So they've given you some fantastic layout suggestions. I really like that. That is definitely my style, making it look like 112 by 24 layout. And then this one here, and another fun layout. Lots of bright floral colors. This one they've made Mother's Day, and then Love These Days, and Our Family. So really all occasion type titles there. So I've gone ahead and already flipped some of the papers over so you can see both sides. We've got a gorgeous floral, and then this one on the opposite side. And then you have these fun patterns. Love this one here. Really love that one. This is gorgeous. Then we have this floral, and I'm only seeing one of these in here. I don't know if there's supposed to be one, probably, but this is very pretty as well, because they give you what you need to create those layouts, and oftentimes you do have some leftovers. This is a bonus page paper that comes with this kit, so it's one-sided, and you can see that is in the Secret Sea color. Really like that one. And then we have this one with this beautiful visual texture, just a soft wash on the background. Absolutely love that. And then you get some cardstock in coordinating colors that you would need to create the layouts. Lots of cardstock in here. And then of course you get these extra little sheets in the back. So let me make sure I'm not missing any. Okay, that's all cardstock. And then the coordinating sticker sheet. So you have some, accent words, some border stickers, lots of beautiful florals. And then these you could, you know, yeah, those are all separate. So really great descriptive words to add to your clusters there. I love doing that, adding words to my clusters. I think it really adds an interesting element. And then these are stickers also. So aren't they? What do I got here? Nope, those are punch outs. So they are labeled on the back what project they go to. And here's where your titles are coming from. So Our Family, Love These Days, and Mother's Day. And some subtitles, big bold florals, some journaling areas. And yeah, I really think these are very pretty. Gorgeous florals. I love these colors. There are, as I mentioned, let me grab the extras here. So we got the workshop guide and we've got the photo place card holders. So in the catalog on page 14, you can see the Memories in Bloom Scrapbooking Workshop Kit, but there are coordinating products. So in the back or towards the back on page 42 and 43, you can see they have just the paper collection here, and there are some differences in the paper pack. So I'm seeing some different florals in there, and some of them are the same. So this one's the same, and then this one's the same, and so is this one. But again, there's some different papers in here. I also went ahead and got these dots. These are the in color dots, and they're really pretty little pearlescent colors to coordinate with this. And then the stamp and die sets. So this one's been a big hit because it's great for titles. So we've got the Sweet Blooms, and it's nice because you have the die that cuts these out. I love having a die that cuts out the titles. So nice because they're titles you can use over and over again, and they're small enough to go on a card as well. So not only do you have the inner portion, if you don't want to stamp it, you could just use the die. So this cuts out what would be equivalent to the stamped image, and then you have the shadow. So lovely, and then bloom, and then you do have the small dies here to cut out your floral clusters if you want to, you know, match that to the coordinating stamp. So really great for titles. Again, this is Sweet Blooms, and You Make Me Smile is a really nice little, you know, you could put that on a card as a sentiment to send to someone, or you could just use that as a little subtitle. So that is the Sweet Blooms that goes along with this collection. And then the Pretty Florals. So we have another photopolymer stamp here, which is great because this is layered stamping, and you'd want to layer these bits up. And then you have the Pretty Floral dies that coordinate with it. So let's take a look at those. You can see which ones coordinate with the dies because they're highlighted in the pink tone, but you do have some standalone dies that are absolutely gorgeous. So this floral layers over this one, so you get this beautiful detail outline over the top of this one, and then some leaves. We call these standalone dies, and then these outlines cut out the pattern paper and then coordinate with the stamps as well. So really pretty. And there's lots of artwork examples in here. This card I think is gorgeous, and I do want to recreate that. I love the dark background in Secret Sea with these bright colors over the top. So pretty. So lots of different examples there on how they've used that. And here you can see how they've done that outline die over a solid cardstock background and use the Bloom stamp and die set there. Aren't those pretty? Do you see all the texture in those dies too? I'm really excited about this one. And here they have created an entire background to make it look like pattern paper, but those are all stamped and die cut. So I thought that that was a fun idea to try as well. Now, this is a set that I know lots of my scrapbooking friends were very excited about. It's the Party Alphabet Dies and Banner bundle. So this is a really jumbo die set, alpha die set. So you can see these great big bold letters, and I'm seeing all sorts of fun artwork come out with these already. If you look in the catalog, they have shown some fun ideas for creating banners or monogrammed boxes there, because they're, you know, big enough to make a nice bold impact on, you know, by themselves like that, and I love it. So you can see 3 letters do fit across a regular A2 card size. So I've got, let me find some other examples of how they've used this in here. Ah, here it is. So they've spelled out the word Japan, and then they've used the, mini alpha dies for visiting to combine those. So what I love about this is you can easily emboss these or add stamping to these, or you can use pattern paper, and you can, they're big enough to appreciate that added detail in the alpha dies. So those are pretty cool, and I can't wait to use them. And then you have the banners. So you can see, compared to my hand, how big those are. Definitely going to make a bold statement. And all the way down to the smallest one here is, let's see, that is 1¼ inches wide by 1¾ tall. And then for our largest, we have about 5, just shy of 5½. And then, well, my ruler looks like that might be 7 inches in length. So nice and big. These are for cutting out, the banner. If you want to truly make a banner out of that, you've got the little hole reinforcers, and then these would punch the holes in the banner. So I think these are going to be neat. And they're not quite straight. They actually have a fun little rounded detail to them. I don't know if you can see that there, but you'll see many of us kind of cut a straight banner tail, so these do have a little bit of character to them. This is a higher price point item. Definitely want to take advantage of the bundled option and save 10%, but I think it's going to be a great staple that's a kind of a classic in your craft room. These alpha dies are not going to go out of style, so I love having a nice collection of alpha dies because you can use them over and over again, right? And another great craft room investment that you can use over and over again are title stamp sets. So I picked up both of these. This is from the Turtley Sweet collection, and I like the titles Smiles and Sunshine, It's Your Day, and Good Times. And then you got this fun little banner that you can put, use as an accent piece. So the other one here is Celebrate Together, A Day to Remember, and Family and Friends, but these in particular I'm very excited about. So these are like perfect size to add to your embellishment clusters when you just want a little text, a little something extra. So these are really, really usable. Best of Friends. So you could use that on, pages of you're documenting your kids and their friends, or maybe you and a friend, or pets that get along great, best of friends. And then Vacation Vibes, This Happened, What a Day, Holiday Fun and Memories. And these do fit on the, you have this little arrow bit here that you can stamp out, and also on this little file tab. So that's really cool. And then a nice little background texture stamp, some scallops. But yeah, this might be my favorite one of all the title stamps, because these are great, but these little wordy bits on the side. And again, those are both photopolymer clear stamps. I also picked up this Stampin' Blends in the new in colors. Again, Strawberry Slush, Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, and Timid Tiger. And these are new. I'm excited to try these. So these are black journaling pens, and they come 3 to a pack, and they're 0.4. So I think that these are going to be nice. I usually, would pick up journaling pens in a 0.5. So this is similar in size, and I think those are going to be handy, and I'm excited to try them. So, and they're only in black, but that's tends to be what I journal in when I am hand journaling on my layouts anyway. Now this is a red rubber cling stamp, and I'm excited about this one because I think it will be quite nice for making a little background when you just need a little something and, across your cards, or making your own pattern paper, and you have quite the variety here. So they do separate. You can put them together, line them up on your block, and create a continuous background. Or you can use them individually if you just want the stripes or just want the dots or the diagonal border. So I think that this will be very versatile and just a fun little detail to add to your projects. I also picked up the Mix and Match Ephemera bits. These are just a collection of fun. We've got a holiday themed one, plus some other non-holiday shapes, and then just some everyday life. Look how cute that plant is. But these are great for adding little bits of ephemera, or to your cards or scrapbook layouts. So this one's called Good Times, and this one's Time for Celebration. So there's a little bit of everything. I see Easter, Christmas, Halloween, maybe Father's Day with the saw and the tie. There's snowflakes, a wedding cake, a little bit of everything. And there's 2 sheets of each. And then again over here, fun, just decorative shapes that you can layer up together, use multiple images, or just, one by itself and add a sentiment and you have a cute card. They are designed to go with these embossed designs, or you could use them with the textured stripes mix and match cards. And they do have tags and also sentiments that you can add for really quick options to put those cards together. They have some card and tag templates here, so you can use these as some inspiration for putting those little bits together. But these are just fun to have, and I look at how cute the books are. I love those. So this is something new and a little different. It's called Extraordinary Flora. We've got a stamp set, which is a clear stamp. There are a few cute little sentiments on there too. And the die is all one piece and it lines up with it. So you would stamp it all. I'd probably recommend using a stamp positioner, but you certainly don't have to. And then you can see that you can cut it out all in one swoop. So if you don't want to color, we've got this washi tape option, and it's really neat because they've done like the purples and pinks, and then the pattern repeats itself going into the pinks, more pinky tones there rather than the purples. So you can see, again, the die lines up perfectly with, oops, it would help if I got it the right way, with our pattern there. So you can just die cut, stick this to your die cutting plate and die cut it out and then peel them off and use them like stickers. Washi tape is sheer, so you can also put this on a piece of cardstock and just back it with cardstock, and then you would have all of these beautiful little bits of floral ephemera ready to go. You can layer them up on your scrapbook layout or quick cards. But yeah, I think this is going to be really fun to create with all these little bits. They have kind of a watercolor painterly look to them, and I just love the ease of being able to die cut them out all at once, right? I just think that's a neat little design concept, and I'm excited to try it. Now you'll want to stay tuned because I have a video coming where we are going to do a deep dive into the topic of albums. I bought both a post bound, these Stampin' Ups just released these albums, so I got a post bound and I got a D-ring, and we are going to just compare and contrast, talk about the pros and cons of each, how I use them. I'm going to show you exactly how I label the spines, how I, organize my photos and albums, and of course how to use the spine expanders so that they lay flat. And I think it's going to be a great video, so that'll be coming up very soon here on my channel. And I cannot wait to share the layouts I have in mind for these paper collections. So stay tuned for lots of creative inspiration and fun ways to use all of these products. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you very soon here on YouTube. Bye.